Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Let's Play Siralim Ultimate. In this episode, we have... I mean... We've got a few things to do, but there's one thing that I really want to do, and that is... I really want to hunt down these last couple masters. We have one encounter left with the constructs. We have one encounter left with the master of the Godspawns. Only two remain, and then we'll be done with these forever. And then masters for us will just be, you know, a bonus thing, good to have, but not really needed. You know, you can boost yourself depending on which masters you're fighting. That could be a thing maybe for some specific build. We'll need to bump up our level with some specific masters, but in terms of achievements we would be done. But of course, getting there is not going to be that straightforward, because these are rare masters, and unlike the other masters, which will always have a specific realm and which you will be guaranteed to fight if you go into that realm over and over again. Like if you go into the same realm 5-6 times, you'd be guaranteed to find whichever master from that realm you were looking for. Unlike those, these ones are ones that can spawn in any realm, but have a very low chance of spawning. So, is it gonna happen? Maybe, maybe not. One other thing for this episode is I'm gonna do sort of again in highlights fashion, just because I figured maybe that's gonna be that's gonna raise our chances to find these guys. Because if I'm doing highlights, then I can play a lot quicker than if I'm commentating every single thing while I'm playing. And who knows? We'll see. We'll see what we find. Hopefully, we find one of these two. If anything else interesting happens, I'll show that as well. Like, if it's a really interesting nether encounter, or if we find a card, or some really interesting nether stone, or I guess that's about it, really. And I guess I'll show the false god fights and the anointments that we find. And that'll be about it. So yeah, I think right about now is a perfect time for me to go off, and I will see you when there is a highlight to show you. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so just a quick little highlight before we get our episode going. There might be a couple more highlights, but this is just one little thing I wanted to show you. So... we've seen a lot of different nether portal encounters throughout our playthrough. Some of them are rarer than others. This one, the large pandemonium statue, is an exceptionally rare encounter, which I think we've only seen maybe a couple times in all of the hundreds of episodes that we've played, and even in the hundreds of hours that I played before the series began. The reason this is particularly amusing to me is because the entire time I was playing the series, or even before I started the series, this is the one that I always wanted. To find the one that gives you a greater chance to find cards. Unfortunately, and this is just fate. This is just destiny being a troll. This is just fate being just just a very, very cruel troll. Is that eventually we're going to be able to find more cards. We're going to be able to find cards that we've, like, additional copies of cards we've already found. We'll be able to find those. In the past, we could have used this to find the cards we hadn't found yet. It's only in this specific span of time, these few weeks in between us completing the card set, and before the next patch comes out. It's only in this specific span of time that this very rare, normally very valuable bonus is completely useless. It's completely useless to me because we cannot find any more cards until the patch, until the next update comes out. It's just, we could have used this. We could have used this a bunch of episodes earlier. We will be able to use this later on. Will we find it later on? Probably not. We found it in the one tiny span of time in which it is useless to us. Anyway, I've gone on about that long enough, and you can tell how salty I am. Anyway, that's gonna be all. I'll see you in a bit. We're still in the same realm, and I guess this technically, it's kind of a highlight. We found the Elemental Master. We don't need to find him again for achievements, but he's still technically a rare master that we don't see very often. So I guess I'll show this. But yeah, I was just doing a few off-camera rounds, just trying to get a bit of progress made on some of these long, grindy achievements, and I was like, maybe we'll find something special along the way, and I guess we did. Anyway, having shown you that, I'm gonna go back off. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're in the Arachnid Nest, and I have a bit of an idea. I want to test something out. This is a false god realm, by the way, but that's not the point of what I want to test out. Nor is this fight the purpose of why I've called you here either. I'm just collecting a few of these objects. So I was about to fight this master, but then I thought, hang on a second. If I leave and come back, will it always be the Cockatrice Master? Or can I somehow convince the game to spawn a different master without going deeper into the realms? And like, I do not know the answer to that. We'll find out. I mean, I'll tell you. I'll do this off screen, obviously, because that's gonna be very tedious if I were to do it all on camera. I'll just fight some people. The way it's gonna have to be is I'm gonna have to forfeit. I will lose my fortune bonus. That's fine. That's okay. I don't mind about losing my fortune bonus. It is what it is. We don't really need resources or anything like that. We're gonna go back, and let's go straight back into the Arachnid Nest. I'm not gonna worry about realm instability. When it's time to fight the false god, I think I will actually turn the instability back up, but we're not gonna do that just yet. So remember, we did not kill the master. Will it? It will still spawn a master. So let's remind ourselves that it was the Cockatrice Master. To in case you are doubting me, I will go to the mastery page. It was this person. This is a larger model that you just saw, but it was definitely that. Certainly, if it's a different master spawned this time, we will be able to tell, because they do look quite different. I don't want to fight this champion just because they're really slow to fight, just because of the guy being immune. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, yeah, these guys are not really the point, nor are these guys. Again, we're trying to find the master, and I'll just show you this one on camera before I do the rest of it off camera. This is something I'm surprised that it never occurred to me to test this before. Anyway, let's just get a few more breakable objects while we're going along. You know, just to make sure that we're still making progress on these little things. Alright, so let's remind ourselves who we found last time, so that when it's the same one. It's the same one. I only caught a small glimpse of it, but it's the same one. Interesting. Very interesting. We do need to find buried treasures, so I might as well look around a little bit. Oh, do we need to find a treasure golem as well? But yeah, eventually I'll just find a... I guess I could have forfeited to the treasure golem, but I wanted to break some more stuff in the realm. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna go back off, and I'll let you know what my findings were shortly, right? See you in a bit. And mere moments after I said see you in a bit, I got this drop. I wasn't expecting to see any drops because we're on very low realm instability. But the trait on this netherstone is called Righteous Concession. So let's take a look at it. Righteous Concession. Are you any good? Oh. That's actually not bad. What else do we have in terms of... We've got health. Always a good stat. Savage on damage is largely irrelevant. Attack is okay, but also largely irrelevant. That's a pretty decent stone. I'll lock it, you know, just to remind myself that it's a cool one. And now I will see you in a bit. Alright, so I did about four or five attempts. I didn't advance any realms. I just kept going back to the same, you know, realm 2169. And every single time it was the Cockatrice Master, which does lend credence. And maybe this is like common knowledge about the game that I somehow don't know. That the normal masters spawn in a specific order, and you can't get a different one to spawn in the same realm by, you know, quitting and coming back. I guess it's possible that if I kept doing this, eventually a rare master would spawn, but I mean, that's not the best way to farm for rare masters. I mean, I guess it's an okay way to farm for rare masters, but then you're foregoing the chance to make all kinds of other progress. For instance, making... God damn it. I need to change my macro, because clearly one punch is not enough for these guys. But yeah, if you're not going deeper into the realms, you're not getting arcane dust, you're not completing projects, you're not... There's all kinds of things that are not happening, right? So, just something to consider when you're doing... I was gonna say low-level farming, but really any kind of farming that isn't at your highest realm depth. So we like Clayman and Rabid Dementia. Just to buff ourselves a little bit before smacking these guys in the face. Yeah, that's more like it. That is more like it. And I wish we could reroll these, but you can't. Sure, you can deal more damage. I don't even know if this boss does any direct damage, so it's possible that that rune doesn't do anything for it. Even if it does, we're not really too worried about that kind of thing. Okay, this is a this mimic fight is kind of annoying, and it also shows you why doing realm instability is... Ooh, we got a treasure golem, but we've already killed the one that we needed. But we will definitely take this guy down. We could get some nice nether stones. You know, there are no cards to be found, but there are other things that we can get from treasure golems. You know, lots of cool little things. Ooh, I cannot wait until the there's so many awesome things that are gonna happen with the next patch. Ooh, hey, that's actually pretty bad. It's just that I had taken a bit of a break from the game, so I hadn't, you know, it had been a while since I've seen nether stones drop. We saw another one earlier with a trait on it, with an interesting looking trait, the debuff resistance one. Is this something? You know what? Sure. I'm pretty confident fighting Saint Althea that we're not gonna have too much trouble. We have plenty of ways to deal damage. Oh, and now we have only one way to deal damage, which is what? Well, you know what? We can we've got a dumpling and 2 treasure golems. That's quite the party that's going on. All right, that's one down. You want nothing to do with me? That's fine. And let's do a bit of that. And now we got a double nether stone drop. Unfortunately, both of them suck. We'll even kill the dumpling. Ah, let him slip. Let him slip. Come on. Come on. Did we find the master? I'm not sure if we did. God, it's so... See, realm instability, no additional attacks, enemies healing, that's fine because we can just blight them, but it's the taking away our extra attacks. That's what really hurts. Anyway, let's find these enemies. Let's find the master. There's another enemy there. Come on. Oh, conveniently, all of the enemies are in one place. And we have less damage dealt. And they have less damage taken. 53% less damage taken, 42% less damage dealt. On top of not allowing us to attack extra times. And they have extra health. What an absolute... I didn't pay attention to these realm properties, but these are kind of atrocious, if I'm being honest. And it's the same master that I tried to dodge by redoing this realm, but I guess there's no running away from this guy. Alright, let's do a bit of this action. Let's do one. I'm acting as though this is the boss fight with how much I'm buffing, but I just want to make sure that I kill these guys in one hit. And I still wasn't able to. Wow. Swear to God, stop. Oh, what are you doing? Just fucking end it. There we go. Jeez, that was annoying. I was gonna say, we should be able to fight the boss, and indeed we can. Excuse me? He must have popped out of that ichor pool. You know, those pools of green liquid that you can interact with to get buffs. Alright, let's take out Saint Althea. I have switched out my anointments, so I do have Arrogance's Confidence, but I did take off Singleton, which is why some of the enemies were doing things multiple times. Anyway. So I think for the rest of this episode, I'll show only the false god fight. And maybe even only because I'm going to be fighting Saint Althea over and over again. I just want to make sure that I get all of her anointments so that I never have to fight her again. And my suffering. Yeah. Listen, don't worry about it, Althea. Because again, until the next update comes out, there's not going to be much. The only really interesting or noteworthy thing will be if we find the remaining masters that we need for those achievements. That's the main thing I'm on the lookout for in terms of potential highlights. But yeah, let's do a bit. Excuse me, do a bit of that. Yeah, I think we need to be a lot stronger. Oh, that's right. We made her immune to attack damage, didn't we? That's right. Okay. So what we should do is a bit of this action. If that's how it's gonna be. Oh god, she's not immune to indirect damage, is she? Because if she is, that would be pretty bad. I mean, immune to indirect damage. As a... No, she's not. Okay, good. And then... what was it? Wormhole? Do we have... Oh, yeah, we do. You go again. Just kill her. Alright, easy. Nothing in one chest, nothing in the other chest. And I guess I'll show you the anointment. But yeah, for the rest of this episode, I'll only show you the... I'll show you collecting the rewards after the boss fights. Because even the boss fights themselves... You'll get sick of watching me beat Saint Althea over and over again, but the anointment at the end, that's going to be something interesting. Alright. So let's take a look at this. This, again, it's a Blight synergy, but not the best one. That could be good. Nah, actually no, that's not that good. God, excuse me. So, I mean, this could be... There are some synergies that allow you to use your barriers offensively. That's one option. This... I don't know what Shadow Crash is. I don't know what Ill Fate is. But, you know what? Sure, let's take Shadow Crash. And let's see, do we get anything? Well, we got another double stone. Unfortunately, both of these stones are also garbage, but 7,000 reputation is pretty good. Because, you know, we got some not insignificant stat buffs to all of that. That's pretty good. Let's leave, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Like, on my end, right now I'm gonna wrap it up today, but these highlights are gonna take probably a couple days for me to get enough footage to get an episode out of, so I'll be back for now, but you will be back with me shortly. Alright, it's time to take out Saint Althea again. This time I skipped the rest of the realm because, you know, I felt we'd save a bit of time and cut down on a bit of the monotony. Just to show you, we are running with a 400% item bonus, and let me just show you the runes that we are applying to this boss. I did have the opportunity to give it the 10% damage cap, but I chose not to. Instead, I gave it a 20% chance to avoid damage. Excuse me. That way we lose out on 10% from the rune bonus, but the fight is going to be a little bit less annoying. Anyway, let's quickly take out Althea. I did switch out my anointments. I am running with Arrogance is Confidence. So this fight should be straightforward. We just need to buff ourselves a fair amount. Excuse me. I think I made her immune to indirect damage. So I think the only way to deal with her is going to be via just punching her to death. I'm going to say. Let's do Greater Dispel. Get rid of some of those annoying debuffs. There's the Archangel's Blessing. Let me just take a quick sip of water while my Ebony Ant is doing his stuff. Let's do another Clayman. I don't think we're strong enough. Hang on, what happened there? Oh, animated says gain max health too many times. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's do it like this. Let's actually do it like this. Do it once more. Now I think we should have enough, because if I do this... So... Unfortunately, in this realm, she has a chance to resist damage. I gave her another chance to resist damage via... Oh my god. Via the rune. But ultimately, it's still better than the 10% damage cap. Because that is just insufferable. So she is taking indirect damage. Interesting. If that's the case, that she's taking indirect damage, perhaps we could do something else. The Dread White could... Well, the Dread White's about to take his turn next anyway, so what I'll do is I'll... Oh my god. Is she... Prevented False God, but I don't know if that means prevented via one of the realm properties or via what we gave her. Regardless, just do it like this. No point dwelling on it. We just want to get to the end to see what our anointments are. Anyway, that's done. Thank you very much. What do we get? I'm just gonna fight Saint Althea over and over again. just to whittle down the number of anointments we have to get from her, just because she's the most annoying of the false gods, I do believe. Just because to fight her, you have to drastically change your build compared to some of the others. This could be good. Anything that always gives you some specific status effect is useful. So any like leeching and mending synergies could be fun. That could be interesting. I'll go for shadow mending for now. And our heaping treasure gives us a good amount of Nature Guild rep. And now that's it. And so what I'm gonna do now is I will head back home. I'll set a new bounty. I'll do all of the other in-between realm chores that you are now so used to. And I will speak to you next when we have another highlight, or maybe even at the next Saint Althea fight, if nothing interesting happens in these next 7 realms, which is a possibility. Hopefully something fun happens in these next 5 realms, but regardless, you will find out very shortly. Well, here's a fun little highlight. We're about to get a new skin. This is a hard to see. I think it's a... What is this unit? The Gorgon Sorceress has a special skin. I think that's I think Kabuki Theater. It's reminiscent of that. I think that's the term. Oh, Nuwa, I guess. Let me just quickly look up what Nuwa is. Not new wave, Nuwa. Oh, that's a what? Oh, it's Chinese mythology apparently. Interesting. All right. Yeah, that kind of checks out. I mean, these pictures aren't. I'm on the Wikipedia page for Nuwa. These pictures are mostly black and white, but the art style does check out. Let's take a look at it a little bit closer. Alright, let's try and find this. Find the skin. It was a Gorgon, so that's gonna be. There we go. Yeah, let me compare this with what I'm seeing here. Yeah, let me do an image search. That might be better. If this is the correct thing, then like it's a figure from Chinese mythology, a female looking regally dressed kind of figure, so that all checks out. You know what? We're gonna call it good. We're just glad we found this skin. Very cool. I like the white scales on the Gorgon, in addition to the other, decorations, the dress and stuff. I do still like this skin a little bit more, just because I think that looks really badass. But you know what? We found a new one, and we're gonna be happy about that. And with that, I'm gonna go back off. If there's anything else to show you before the next false god fight, you will see that shortly. Alright, I figured I might as well show this. I was in the realm to fight the false god Saint Althea yet again, and I went into the nether portal expecting it to be something boring, and this is admittedly something we've seen a few times, but it's something that I really like. We're going to be fighting 3 different masters instead of just one, which is good. And I'm hoping one of them is going to be a rare master. The first 2 are not. Maybe the third one is going to be, let's check. The Elite 3. Don't really care about these guys, but this is an extra trait realm, so I'm going to be doing blank slate. And you know what, let's do some Clayman action. And of course we are doing this on realm instability as well, so we have about 370 something item bonus. And enemies take less damage, we deal less damage, both of those rolls are very high. And they have good luck, and gems are sealed after casting. It's pretty annoying collection of properties, if you ask me. But what are you gonna do? This should be enough to kill these guys. Okay, you know what? Come on. There we go. Big hits. Big hits. Has taken you out. Given us more cockatrice mastery. I'll take it. Oh boy. Rarity 286. Let me... I'm trying to do a... Yeah, a screenshot. Because we're gonna have to get rid of this nether stone pretty soon. Shimmering Bauble 286. And we can see that the third master isn't a rare one either. That's a bit of a shame. I guess since we are in the false god realm, I might as well... Oh, why are they healing? Oh, it must have been their extra traits. You know what? That generally does explain it if there's funky stuff going on and you're not sure why. If it's an extra trait realm, that's probably why. I wish we had snared them before coming in, but that's okay. Let's just do a quick blank slate, and then we'll do entangling roots just to make sure they don't take their turns and they don't waste our time, and then we can start doing some Clayman action. Hopefully we get a nice Archangel. Nice. Oh, but you cast Clayman on the wrong target. You do have an ethereal Clayman. You know what? Let's do something different. Let's wormhole. Let's feign death. Ooh, these guys are way too beefy. I'm not comfortable with how much health they have, or how what a small amount of damage we're doing, I guess. That's better. That's better. Everything's coming together. There's one more after this, I think, or was he the last one? He was the last one. Okay, good. But that's the one thing about opening all these chests is you have a pretty good chance of finding something interesting. Alright. I'm summoning even more enemies. 9 enemies. Oh god. What a crowded map. Kind of gross, but listen, we'll get through it. You know what? I'll skip to when I've killed these enemies and when we're fighting the boss, because you don't need to see all of this. So I'll be back in just a moment. Here's an interesting thing that we just found, a trait netherstone. The trait is razor sharp. Master's hand on provoke. 400 something. Yep. After this creature attacks, deals damage to a random. Interesting. Once for each. Okay. This is a... It was sounding pretty interesting up until it turned out it was a hunter thing. We don't really have a hunter party. So I think we're not really going to be able to make use of that with our build. What does Master's Hand do? Small amount of damage, plus 20% for each time the caster has it. Alright, that. I mean, it's an interesting idea, but I'm not really too worried about that. Okay, so there are only 2 enemies left in this map. We'll kill them. We'll take out the false god, and then we'll excuse me, and then we'll I think I'll do one more false god takedown. Probably tomorrow, and then I'll put those highlights as well, and then I think that'll be the end for this episode, and then I'll be kind of caught up with doing episodes daily or 5 days a week, at least for the rest of this week and maybe next week. We'll see. So we got one more enemy that we got to hunt down. Come on, man! I just want to. See, this is why I really hope. I haven't read detailed patch notes about what's coming, but I really hope that the next update changes the way false gods spawn, because you can see in certain maps it can get pretty ridiculous hunting down like one final enemy just to get the god to spawn. And it's not like the false god is some like bonus encounter, and if you're getting tired of it you can just leave and go to the next realm. No, you cannot leave until you kill the false god. And you cannot this also might change in the next update, but if you're tired of a realm and you just want to be done, your only option as of now is to just get into combat with some enemies or summon enemies at the divination candle, get into combat with them, and then forfeit, because there's no option to just directly forfeit the realm and go back to the hub area, which is a bit of an inconvenience. Anyway, let's take out Althea. So we've got a lot of things to do at the start of combat, which is we've got to do blank slate. I guess there weren't that many things. It was mainly just blank slate. Did we make her immune to indirect damage? We'll find out soon. We made her immune to something. I just realized I haven't shown you what we made her immune to because I did all of that off screen. Wow. I need to get my head in the game. So I made her immune to something. Maybe it was spell damage. Regardless, assuming she's not immune to indirect damage. Excuse me? Excuse me? Had he gained max health too many times? Or what happened? Or did somebody... I don't understand what happened. Did I cast the wrong spell? Who knows? Okay. Anyway. That's the end of her. Nothing there. Oh, nothing there. And we'll grab another anointment. I'll see what it is. That seems kind of useless. That is a good blight synergy. This might be good. Ultimate. I'm not really dealing with ultimate spells that often, but ultimate spells do seem like they're a lot of fun. So you know what? I'll get deified armaments, and our heaping treasure gives us two excuse me, 2 nether stones, and only less than or close to 6,000 reputation. because I didn't get great luck with the... Oh, I was gonna show you the runes that we had, but I guess that's over. I actually don't want to hand in this assassination, but I might not have a choice. But that's something that I'll worry about when I head back. Excuse me. Oh god, my throat is... Yeah, I just recently got over a cold, and I don't think my throat is ready for, you know, full-on commentary just yet, which is probably a good reason why I'm doing these highlights right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the hub area. I'll set a new bounty. I'll figure out what I'm doing with the... I should probably just hand in this Rune of Prophecies. Yeah, I'll probably just hand in the Rune of Prophecies, because I'm not really gonna do any of this. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Anyway, I'll do that, and I'll do one more hit on Saint Althea. I'll show you what things we find along the way, and after that, I think we'll wrap up this episode. Anyway, for now, I'll head off, and I'll see you shortly. I mean, I guess this is kind of noteworthy. Another Xantai fight. Haven't seen this guy in a while. Okay, he's gonna be doing some nonsense. We don't really care. This is a zero. Fuck off. Oh my god, that's annoying. But I think he's kind of fucked as well, isn't he? No idea what's even happening. Imagine doing this with instability on. Jeez. What a freaking nightmare. Anyway, we gotta... I think all we got was just some trait material out of that. One of these days I'll look at what sort of builds you can make with the Xantai trait materials. For now, though, I think we're good. I know we're in the Arachnid Nest, which is usually where we are for boss fights, but I just got sent here randomly, which is why our objective is not a boss fight, it's just to activate shrines. And I'm gonna do those, and I'll be back to show you the next highlight in just a moment. Well, we are in the false god realm. And I was gonna just skip to when we had the boss fight, and then we came across this little beauty of a chest. 3 nether stones, including one that I'm gonna have to print screen quickly. They changed the print screen thing where I now have to click an extra time in order to get the full screen capture. I mean, I like it because it gives you the option of doing like a freeform copy or like a rectangle, but I wish there was a way to just bind like a default. Anyway, that's a whole separate issue. The reason I brought you here is because you got to see this. We got these 3 nether stones, including a double trait, Insipid, and Abaddon's Boon. Now, is that interesting? Well, let's see what stats it has. The stats aren't great. There's no health. So these traits have to be amazing. Less damage for each debuff. I mean, damage reduction is decent. And there are ways in this game to essentially turn debuffs into buffs, like burning or poisoned. Probably others as well. But I mean, whatever. Let's see what the other one is. Abaddon's Boon can't cast spells manually, but after defense, it casts one of its spells that. I mean, yeah, you could definitely have some interesting synergies out of that. Sure. And then there's one more chest, but that one didn't have anything. That is not the false god chest, that was just from one of these random rooms. Now you might be wondering, hey, why aren't you in the arachnid nest? And partially it was because, I don't know, I just wanted a change of scenery because I had randomly been sent to the arachnid nest a couple times actually in the last few realms. So I didn't want to go back there for the boss fight. And also I wanted to check something because our loot bonus in this realm, or really in any realm outside of the arachnid, oh god, are we fucked? I think we're fucked. There's no, the portal didn't spawn. I think we're screwed. Hang on, let's not panic, right? Let's not panic. Let's just summon a random creature and kill them and try and persuade this portal to spawn. And this will be the last thing we do in this episode. Assuming it works. If it doesn't work, if it ends up God, excuse me. If it ends up that I just have to like forfeit this round, then I'll still just end the video. Or, I mean, I won't end the video, but I have to stop playing for today. It's almost 9 PM. And we'll do I'll do it tomorrow. I'll just pop in for a quick Saint Althea kill. But that's assuming the portal doesn't spawn now. So we killed them a second time. Now this time the portal did spawn. So probably it was just trying to spawn the portal into an improper spot. And then it got messed up by that. So I don't think I explained why I came to the Barrens. I mean, I didn't specifically choose to come to the Barrens. I just went to a random realm instead of the arachnid nest. It was because one reason was because I had gone to the arachnid nest too many times just due to random chance. The other reason was in this realm and in every other realm outside of the arachnid nest, our loot bonus is going to be much lower. And I'm curious as to whether the reputation bonus you get at the end is also tied to your loot bonus, which is itself tied to your level with the specific god. So if at the end of this, when we get our reputation with the Nature Guild, if it's much lower than what we're used to, like if it's a lot lower than, let's say, 4,500, then we'll know that yes, it does actually make a huge difference if you go into a false god fight in a realm where you have a low level with the god. And I hope I've explained that well. I think it's one of those things which is easier to show than to tell, and in order to do that, we're gonna have to get through this fight. Okay. We knocked her head out, and in fact, we just we just killed her. Okay, well that's good. No, okay. Okay, nothing there. And at least, whatever else happens, at least we just got the false god to spawn, you know? Small victories. But what do we want? Should we start getting these reputation-based anointments? We would have to get all of them for them to be useful. Actually, let's get this because it's a spell. It's a way. It might be interesting. I'm just gonna pick up Doomsday. None of the others are really speaking to me. Heaping Treasure gives us another Nether Stone. All right, not that exciting, and a good amount of Nature Guild rep. So we know that we can just go in whichever realm we want. Only our loot gets affected. The reputation, as far as I can see here, is just based on the realm instability and potentially also the runes that you apply to the false god. Okay, so that's done. Let's head home. And let's wrap up this episode. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, we have one major goal for now, and that is to hunt down these last 2 masters that we need. We didn't find either of them today. In fact, did we find anything? Well, we found 1 skin. I think that's about all we accomplished. But we also made tiny bits of progress towards a few of the other long-running achievements. So, you know, that's kind of good. But I'm just gonna... Before I forget, I'm gonna set a new bounty. Once again, Saint Althea. We're just gonna knock out as many Saint Althea anointments as we can. Just because when we're done with her, we'll never have to fight her again. Except if the Rune of Prophecies is asking us to. Anyway, I should hand in, speaking of that, I should hand in this Rune of Prophecies. If I was so inclined, I could try and find 1 more Pandemonium Shrine to get 2 more lines, but that, who knows how long that could take. I'm just gonna hand it in now. 8 lines is pretty decent. And we do not need to hand in our Goblet of Trials. We do need to do arena battles, which I'm going to do off screen. Riddles, slots, scratch cards, Kino. Alright. Sounds good. So, next episode, I'm not sure what we'll do. We could do more highlights, or I could do like a full episode. Obviously, if it's a full episode, there won't be as much done, because it'll just be whatever I can record in an hour. If I do highlights, we'll get more done, but it also takes longer to record it. And I might not have time. Well, we'll see. And whichever of the 2 I choose, you will know when the time comes for next episode to start. For this episode, though, it is time for me to say thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you'll join me next time for more Siralim Ultimate. And until then, take care.